What if the healer you trust with your body is the architect of your unraveling, and the diagnosis that promises salvation is actually the symptom of a deeper, more intimate violation? In The Doctor, Daniel Hurst delivers a psychological thriller that weaponizes the sanctity of medical authority against the vulnerability of patienthood, proving that in spaces designed for care, the most dangerous malpractice is the erosion of self-trust. This isn't merely another medical suspense with clinical gore. It's a psychologically precise narrative where every consultation feels like both lifeline and trap. Consent is negotiated through institutional coercion rather than informed choice, and survival requires honoring your intuition when expertise demands compliance. From the first antiseptic-scented narration, listeners are immersed in a world where healing is performance, and presence is the only true vital sign. Perfect for fans of claustrophobic domestic thrillers and stories where female agency defies professional gaslighting, this audiobook serves up relentless atmospheric dread, unflinching emotional honesty, and a protagonist whose journey from compliant patient to sovereign truth-teller resonates with anyone who's ever been told their pain was all in their head. When chronic illness sufferer Alara Vance begins treatment with renowned specialist Dr. Julian Thorne, she expects answers, not to discover his revolutionary protocol mirrors the exact patterns of control she escaped in her marriage, and his bedside manner conceals a methodology that reframes her autonomy as pathology. But as Alara navigates sterile offices and fractured reality, she realizes this treatment isn't about cure, it's about containment. Hurst masterfully avoids reducing Alara to hysterical victim or Julian to cartoonish villain. Instead, he crafts a narrative where medicine becomes crime scene, where consent is renegotiated through boundary setting rather than assumed trust, and where liberation requires seeing the system's design before it diagnoses you. The audiobook narration amplifies this psychological vertigo, capturing Alara's disciplined hope fracturing into fierce clarity, while secondary voices shift subtly between professional concern and hidden agenda, making every appointment feel like both care and cross-examination. You don't just hear the deception unfold, you feel the seismic shift of a woman learning that some cures can only be survived by refusing to be cured. What elevates The Doctor beyond typical medical thrillers is its nuanced portrayal of healthcare as systemic coercion rather than individual corruption. Alara isn't merely exposing a bad doctor, she's confronting how medical culture taught her to equate worth with compliance, challenging the notion that healing requires surrender of self. Her relationships evolve through acts of radical reciprocity, sharing silences with fellow patients whose stillness encodes witness, establishing analog records that bypass digital manipulation, and defending each other's right to doubt against institutions that mistake skepticism for non-compliance. Supporting characters add vital texture: nurses whose efficiency masks complicity, family members whose loyalty reflects internal ableism, even the clinic itself, rendered as liminal archive whose white walls absorb decades of unspoken violations. Every interaction reinforces the novel's core truth. In architectures built on authority, attention is insurgency, and presence is the only reliable diagnosis. Even the thriller mechanics serve thematic depth, with medical charts mirroring emotional containment and prescription routines becoming metaphors for earned autonomy. For audiobook listeners, this production is an immersive sensory descent into clinical dread. The narrator embodies Alara's evolution with remarkable range, from rehearsed deference to trembling defiance, while supporting characters are distinguished through vocal textures that honor professional roles without caricature. Sound design enhances claustrophobia without gimmickry. Distant monitor beeps marking temporal disorientation rain against exam room windows during vulnerable confessions. The hushed rustle of paper gowns sinking with breath during moments of revelation all anchor existential stakes in tangible reality. Pacing mirrors the rhythm of medical entrapment, deliberate during reflection and alliance building, then surging with urgency as external pressures collide with internal awakening. Whether you're commuting through open spaces or sitting in enclosed rooms, the audiobook creates a portable pressure chamber where isolation feels absolute and agency feels lifeline. It's storytelling as embodied reckoning, transforming passive listening into active participation in a journey where healing isn't found in compliance, but in reclamation. Ultimately, The Doctor redefines the medical thriller by centering female epistemology within clinical frameworks. It satisfies gender cravings for shocking twists and cathartic resolution while delivering substantive commentary on medical gaslighting, gendered vulnerability, and the radical act of trusting your body when systems demand distrust. No prior series knowledge is needed. It stands confidently as a complete emotional odyssey. If you've ever wondered whether safety can coexist with sovereignty, or if true strength requires breaking the rules that claim to heal you, this audiobook will affirm that sometimes the most powerful act is simply refusing to stay sick on their terms. Press play, step out of the exam room, and prepare to believe that even in landscapes shaped by authority, minds still find ways to break free. Your next favorite thriller isn't waiting in perfect diagnoses. It's waiting in the brave, trembling choice to trust yourself.